Hey everyone, it's So from Zo's Real Thoughts. We are here to discuss our January film favorites. Give me a second to just get some things adjusted, and then we'll be right on our way. How's everyone doing? So I know that, I think I've said this before. January is always a very, very slow month for film. I think the Golden Globes and Oscar noms kind of come out, and then nobody really cares about anything in January, so they dump all the shitty movies in this month. But I think it's weird because I feel like there's a shift and there's better movies that are coming out in the early months, January, February, at least a few. And they've done really well. And so I always think that's like amazing. But for me, I really try to stick to the films that I haven't seen and catching up with December's releases. So that's kind of what I did. Also, before I get started, if you guys didn't see my top 10 films of 2016, that is now out. Really interesting, and I really love my top 10 list. I think a lot of people were like, where can I even watch these films? Because I haven't even heard of any of these. And so I feel like most of them should be on Netflix. Most of them should be coming out soon. But there's a couple foreign ones like, well, if you haven't seen it, The Wailing is one of them. It's a South Korean horror film, and it's one of the best. If you haven't, I'm not sure when that's going to come out, but be on the lookout for that because it's so worth it, but also very traumatizing. So if you're not into like scary films, like back away from that. And then I just came out with my Oscar noms reaction thoughts video, so check that out. I will be doing a video of my predictions very soon, probably in the coming weeks, and then after the Oscars I will do a post recap of all the goodies. Okay, so to get started, like I said, January was a very slow month, and so I really just didn't watch many, so this video is going to be kind of short. The first film I did get to watch was Hidden Figures. I know that so many people were talking about this film, and I was like, oh shit, I really gotta go watch this. So if you don't know Hidden Figures, it is directed by Theodore Melfi. It is about there were many African American women, but this film focuses on 3 African American mathematicians that were working at NASA that kind of helped them launch them into space and do all these like really crazy like not projects, but they basically got the first man and everybody into space or into orbit, and I just really loved it because it was a very concise film. Like, I don't like it when historical films kind of embellish so many things just for the drama factor, and this one really just plainly from start to finish got everything very accurately and painted a portrait of what it was like at that time to be like a woman of color, especially working at NASA, and to think that you're gonna put a man into space, which I always think that's pretty cool. And so this stars Taraji B. Henson, Janelle Monáe, Kevin Costner, Kristen Dunst, Jim Parsons. I don't know why they don't. And Octavia Spencer, who is actually nominated for the Oscars, which I know that Taraji B. Henson wasn't nominated, and people were like, oh, that was such a snub. And I always think she's brilliant because, hey, she was Benjamin Button's mom, if nobody remembers. But Octavia Spencer, everything she does, I always think like, oh, man, she is so beyond good. Every look, every word, just amazing. So I think for the Oscars, they have, if I'm correct, Best Picture, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Supporting Actress. And they won 2 Golden Globes and wait, no, they didn't win the Golden Globes, but they were nominated for the Golden Globes for Best Supporting Actress and Best Original Score. But that Best Supporting Actress, like, that will be very stiff competition for Spencer, but I hope she does well. So yeah, Hidden Figures, if you guys haven't watched it, you guys should watch it. It is like a roller coaster of a ride because, like I said, very concise, very to the point, shows you a portrait of what it was like in that era to be living and working at NASA as a woman of color and trying to deal with all this, like all the other prejudices that come in their way, especially like, and then on top of that, it's like trying to beat Russia in their space race. And it's just really fascinating to know that we've come so far in terms of NASA accomplishments, as well as some job inequality. And so that was great. So knowing that January was a slow month, I'm gonna say this first, that I've heard great things about Split, M. Night Shyamalan, which I cannot wait to see. And if you go, I think I'm gonna post it today, but my dad reviewed, I made him review Triple X, the Vin Diesel movie, and he had some interesting things to say. So I'll probably post that on my Instagram. So definitely follow me on that, because I'm like all about the Instagram stories now. And so it was pretty dead, and the only thing I really tuned into, which is so bizarre, because if you guys don't know about this show, it's gonna be like, what? So I was watching Daria for the past like 2 weeks, and I just felt like it was very appropriate. Granted, I like don't have Netflix anymore. I'm trying to cut off on Netflix for the time being. So I was watching Daria on Hulu. And Daria is a show that came out in like the 90s on MTV. Okay, it came out in like 1997, went to 2002. It was like an original show on MTV, and it's about this girl who, Daria Morgendorfer, who's like a very monotone, smart kind of gal who basically hates everybody. So yeah, it's really fun and just great to see, because she's so cynical about everything in life, and you're like, yes, that's kind of like all the shit that's happening right now. Like, I can totally relate. I always think it's just a great show to watch, especially I think I watched it as a teen, and I was like, I couldn't understand everything she was saying, but I did understand her angstiness. And so now that I can understand everything she's saying, I'm like, I get it. I think Aubrey Plaza is like the real version of Daria, and I think I swear they were gonna do a show on that, but like, I'm still waiting for it. I know there's a picture of Aubrey Plaza dressed up as Daria, which is so brilliant, like beyond brilliant. I love it. And so there's like quirky characters. Her sister's like a total popular girl, and she's like this kind of grunge type with her best friend Jane, and they just have a good old time. So if you definitely have Hulu, check it out. It's fun. One thing about Hulu, there's so many goddamn commercials. I'm like, I can't even enjoy this in peace. You just want to binge sometimes. Like, you just want to just watch whatever. If there's a show you've been binging, let me know. I am in a bingey mood, but obviously a lot of them aren't on Netflix. So I will have to work with, maybe I'll have to get somebody's password for now. I will return to Netflix in the very future. Just got to take a break, you know. Okay, and then the last film I don't, this month has been a whirlwind as usual, coming out with my top 10 and the Oscar noms / trying to juggle everything that's happening in real life. You're like, oh shit, you gotta like keep things together. And so yeah, there was like no time to actually watch stuff because the world is like kind of a depressing place, and instead of staying home, you should go out, explore the world, and kind of be with people and connect, which was primarily my focus. But the one film that I really want to watch was Ava DuVernay's The 13th, which is actually nominated for an Oscar in the documentary section, which I love documentaries, so I will definitely have to check them all out, especially even though they're a little bit hard-hitting and kind of depressing, but we got to face the realities of life. So I've heard so many things about the 13th, which is a Netflix original film, which I think is amazing. It is based on the 13th Amendment of the United States in the Constitution. It says that you cannot, to abolish slavery unless it's for punishment for a crime. And so it kind of chronicles how African Americans were turned from slaves, and then through decades of shit, it's kind of disguised as they've effectively disguised it as mass incarceration. So basically slavery turned into mass incarceration. And that's the loophole in the 13th Amendment, that you can have technically slaves because they committed a crime, whether it is literally jaywalking, they will arrest you for jaywalking, or just like any little thing, possession of like marijuana for like a very small dose. And then you'll be turned into a prisoner and they'll use you for free labor. And that's how certain companies are able to make profit off of your like work / you being incarcerated. So it's like such a fascinating and eye-opening documentary because first off, Ava DuVernay, great director, narratively, especially with Selma. And then when she makes a documentary, I think the first film that I watched of hers was the Serena documentary. The tennis player who I think just won. Yes, I think she just won her 25th something tennis. I'm not like connected with sports, you guys, but so that was the first documentary I watched of Ava DuVernay's. And then the 13th, the way she films it, the way she structures it, it's like really engaging because a lot of documentaries can be very boring, especially when there's so many talking heads. But the way she shoots it is it's very fluid. You're kind of going around these people and you see different angles, and she incorporates hip-hop music and their lyrics to kind of reinforce what like Black people have been through since day one of being kidnapped from Africa to America so they can become slaves. And then it's just incredible. I think this premiered at the New York Film Festival, and I just think it's so eye-opening in a sense, like to know that from slavery they've basically had the Jim Crow, and then like they had so many like blockades in their path to make them basically less than first rate citizens. And then to there were so many laws that passed from Nixon to Clinton, and which Clinton already admits that the bill that he passed in 1994 is totally fucked up, and he shouldn't have done that, which is like we gotta fix it now. We gotta fix it. And so, yeah, it's, if you guys, obviously, I'm sure you guys have a Netflix account. Go watch Ava DuVernay's The 13th. It is really like one of the best documentaries. I will have to check out the other documentaries though, because that is a stacked list. Like, documentaries are always so stellar and they don't get enough credit because those people are always like risking their lives to bring us like what we don't know, and in a very concise and digestible way. And even though, like, the next documentary I really want to watch is I Am Not a Negro. I think that is one of them. Fascinating. And there was like a couple of other ones that seem really cool. And so, yeah, man, if you've watched any great documentaries, because I'm like a documentary fiend, let me know what you guys think, because I've said it from the beginning. I've been telling everybody this and nobody can find it, so they can't watch it. But the Crash Reel is one of the most fascinating and well done documentaries ever. It's by Lucy Walker, who is freaking brilliant. And yeah, so you gotta, okay, the Crash Reel. I don't know how to find it. Maybe like, honestly, you might have to like bootleg it. Like, I'm trying to find like a DVD, a screener, whatever. So hopefully I can. But yeah. Anyways, you guys, January kind of sucked. I didn't watch too many things. Let me know what you guys watched. I feel like I need more recommendations. I haven't really been hearing a lot of buzz. I'm mostly waiting for February, because I feel like February is a pretty good month with the Oscars and all. And there's a couple of films that I really, really want to see. And so, yeah. And most of the time, it's like, let's wait for the spring shows to come back on. Mostly I'm waiting for Mr. Robot, but that's not till like the summer. But I can feel it. Like, Sundance just ended. There's going to be a lot of great films to come out this year. Especially with so many like political things. I know people are like super charged. So I wonder if I'm sure in the next like a year or two, there's going to be films that come out that are going to be like completely insane. I'm sure someone has already started on that Donald Trump documentary. But yeah, wow, that was anyways, definitely check out all the videos that I put out. I am going to come out with a few more videos this week, and I am going on a little trip in the week coming, so we'll not be on, but I'll be back with a lot more stuff. And I'm excited because I'm watching a couple of new films that I can't wait for you guys to see. I'm already really, really stoked about it. So yeah. Anyways, let me know your favorites and let me know what you would recommend. And like always, I will see you guys on the flip side. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace.